Welcome back to FTB Infinity Expert Mode at CZSurvivor, and today we're going to be moving Botania over into the Void Age so we can get some botanical magic in creating our things. But first, things that have happened around the base. Number one, I've increased my thermoelectric generator count to 8, producing quite the considerable amount of power, which is pretty nice. It's in this configuration now, as you can see. It is pretty effective, to be honest. Also, I have moved the water wheels over into here, which is getting me even more power as well, and this is the setup that we've got. I don't think they'll stay there forever, it's just to produce power until we move on to a slightly more powerful power source. Also, we have reached the max channels on this cable, and the dogs next door are barking. So, first things first, we are going to make ourselves some new petals, flower. And the flower, as you can probably see, is the entropinium, which is a beautiful flower that uses explosions to produce mana. So I quickly just grab 2 so we'll produce mana in the void dimension. Next off, I am going to remove all the things that are sat here and set it all up in the void dimension. Well, actually no, a few of these things I am not going to set up in the void dimension, like the munch juice stuff. I think we're just going to go with entropiniums and maybe a one that I've done before, although that requires a bit more infrastructure to set up. So, back in a sec. So, I've got all the items over in this dimension. Now we just need to create a little platform for this to work on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another one of these. Actually, do I want to do that? Actually, now that I think about it. Ooh. You know what? I've just had a great idea. Oh, ooh. Do I spoil it? Right, yeah, I'll explain it to you, that's the best way to do. So what we do is we have the pyramid from blood magic. It's giant altar multi-block structure sat somewhere about here. We'll have the same gap coming out, so we'll do, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have that coming out, and then we'll start its structure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. And then 2 circular islands will have our 2 other magic mods, and to the back of the thing we'll have the witchery mod, where we can shove that Neko over there. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking is a great idea. So the problem with this is I'm going to have to count out the size of the temple and work out from there what we're going to do. So I'll be back in a sec. So this is the rough size of the altar. The altar goes on the inside of these blocks to a corner that will be formed somewhere over there. I just don't have enough of these arcane stone blocks to make it. So next of all, I'm going to stick the Botania thing here, and I'm going to line it up with the middle of this, and I'm thinking a 25 diameter circle I think should be good. I forgot, what was the size of this middle circle? Let's quickly find out and see if it's going to be bigger or larger. Take measure, thank you. Mouse being a bit funky, yeah, need to get a new mouse. Wonderful. That is 31, so it's going to be a bit smaller than that. I think that should be a reasonable size. Yeah, that seems about a reasonable size. Right, so this is what it's looking like now. We have the grass circle laid out. It's surrounded by paper wall blocks, which I think give a nice little border to it. To make that paper, I quickly just set up this little sugarcane farm with our 10-10-10 sugarcane, and it's dumping it into a barrel and my storage press and set up auto crafting for that paper. I think it looks nice. I might make a little paper hut on here, depending on how I actually fit this together. It just depends. So what we need to do now is start moving over our plants. Well, first of all, we need to set up the entropiniums. So, let's see, we're going to need these, we're going to need these. We're probably actually going to want a few more of them, so let's make many of these as possible. Another 4, that's 9. Because I want a nice bank of these to store everything. We're going to need this and this. So, yeah. Let me have a quick think how we're going to lay this out, and then we'll be back. So, this is what I'm thinking for a setup. What we're going to have is a dominant spark on here, and recessive spark on here. Where is recessive? There you are. So this will push all the mana into these. So if I quickly, you're not actually bound. Am I in binding mode? No, binding mode. To you, and you to you, and then I want to just angle you lot. I think it looks a bit better. So these lot are going to go to there, and then these are going to jump around. So if we quickly go over to the system and teach you how to make TNT, also we're going to get passive mouse spawns, which is annoying. TNT. Oh, sand. I should really go grab that sand from the overworld and stick it in the A network, but I'll do that once we've got the TNT. Let's just get that, and we'll get a piece of TNT. So, what we want to do is to automate the placing of the TNT, the initiating of a timer for how long it's going to take for this to be transmitted. Now, this does come with a problem in that, for now, I'm going to be using these weak mana spreaders, but in the future, I am going to be using more powerful mana spreaders, which means they'll be able to pull out of here faster because they can transmit faster. You're empty, but you should have... Wait, no, are you empty? No, you're not. Why aren't you... Did I put a dominant or recessive on you? I put recessive. You should be spewing it all over to here. Or is it actually in here? It is in here. It's not actually in here, it just must have been a visual glitch. So, that's what we want to do. So we're going to use computer craft and some redstone logic. So, first of all, we can add a comparator to this. Hopefully you can turn it. No, you can't. Okay, so let's try figuring out how to place it. No. Is it aim as the... No. How does it work? Is it based on the way you're aiming, or do I have... Maybe I have a tool to rotate? So I figured out how to place it. Just come up here and loop down. So as you can see, this is giving a redstone output if we grab this. Actually no, this won't be giving a redstone output actually. This will give a redstone output once this is backlogged, and this starts filling up. Which means we can make a giant battery array here of many mana pools to store mana, which is a very nice feature. In the future we won't actually need any mana production. We'll have a slightly guilty mana pool. So what we want to do is stick a computer, let's see, I think the computer should go this side and have the output to the back. So what we're going to need is redstone to come up round the back and tell dispensers to fire out. That's creating dead spots. I just want somewhere to drop down a block placer of sorts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide on what I'm going to use to place and ignite the TNT. So I'll be back. Right, so I've just quickly done a few tests with some pieces of TNT, and after doing tests I found we get an average of about 14 seconds to empty the entropinium with the regular mana spreader. So for safety's sake I'm going to put this on 15 minutes, because if we get this wrong, it means that, well, there might not be an island, might be a hole in this island, which would mean probable mana spreader gone, some redstone, definitely the entropinium, grass and paper blocks, and maybe even the mana pool and the spark, which I personally don't like the idea of. And also because of that, I've just realised with ComputerCraft, due to server restarts, its time using it as a timer wouldn't be good. I could get around it in code, but that would also slow things down ever so slightly at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is actually go grab a timer that we have in here somewhere. And you know what, you lot can come here. And we will now set up the code to get this thing functioning. So as you can see over here, I have dispensers. quickly. Dispensers underneath. It's automatically likes the TNT from vanilla Minecraft, which is nice. And I've just got red alloy wire running out of an advanced computer for now. Just need to program it. Actually, then again, if we're going to be doing this, we'll break that so it doesn't accidentally do that. We want this up to 15 seconds to put on the safety, and I won't connect it up for now, just to be on the safe side. Right, we're back, and for some reason I feel like we've encountered a bug. So, let me explain. I have been trying to get this Entrepreneur to work. Now, temporarily, it's been working. It works fine for a random amount of time. And I've got this timer here set to 25 seconds, which is more than enough time for the Entrepreneur to empty and the mana spreader to empty. Then, for some random reason, at a random interval, the TNT will explode and the Entrepreneur will not absorb it for unknown reasons. So for that very sad reason, we are not going to be doing power this way. What we are going to do instead is a different power source, which I haven't decided
it's very
yet.
sad I can't use griefing as an efficient way of making power.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look and find out what other power source I might want to use. So, we're back in this. So we're back, and I have decided to make the Kakimoris after school stride. Must be a reference of something. But yeah, the Kakimoris. We're going to go with 2 of them for now. So what I'm going to... Actually no, we'll probably only be able to stay with 2. So what we're going to go with is we're going to go with... I need to go get some mana spreaders and some mana pools. I put everything over here. Let's see, mana pools, mana spreaders. Do I have some sparks? Yep, that should be everything.
10-10-9.
Screen Blast is currently working on creating which flowers was it?
I'm making 10-10-10. Hold on. Shimmer leaf.
Okay. Right. So shimmer leaves he's on. Wait, no, I've already got 10. No, did I do shimmer leaves?
No, you was partially the
partially
way
did shimmer
You
leaves.
had like 8.
Yeah. I just gave up on them. I was like part way through. I was like, I have no need for these. So
I need them to make something even worse,
yeah.
which is tainted. Go from purity to taint. 10-10-9. That's
so what you've just
this
seen me
one.
do is change what was the Wither Spawner into the Mana Controller turtle, and what this turtle is going to do is it's going to have in its inventory some cakes. I'll probably keep it filled with 1 cake. Then the turtle is going to place down the cake, and it's just...
Why do you want plants overweight?
Wait, would I need a turtle? Or could...
10-10-10.
Sure, I need to check. Is that capable? Just wonder, is the dynamism table capable of doing it? Right, I'm going to do a bit of testing and then we'll look at that. So I have now just automated the production of cake. The dynamism table is incapable of placing the thing, which I've completely forgot its name, the cake. And I've automated the production of cake, so hopefully this thing doesn't actually take too long in its production. What? Hello? Why are you having problems? Hello? Does that not actually work?
The what?
Great, so I learned something new today. Dynamism tables are incapable of right-clicking on ender tanks and tanks from open blocks, although they can click on thermal expansion tanks, which is good enough for us. So we're going to come over here, type in cake. Hello, what are you missing to produce cake? Oh, that bucket of milk that I stole. I need a way to put it into the network. That'll do. A way that isn't putting it into the terminal, because that doesn't class as crafting. So let's head over here and tell the system that I want to keep Actually, I probably want to keep a stack in there, so you know what, I'm going to tell the system to make a few more. Cake production is done with a few things. First of all, we have an ender collector. The reason for an ender collector and not just using the transfer node with world interactions is the ender collector instantaneously picks up the entity before it hits the floor, whereas the transfer node is a bit slower, which allows for the nice interesting ability of preventing my ring from sucking in all the eggs. And it also reduces lag by reducing the number of entities in the world. But then again, it is checking more rapidly, so I don't know. But yeah, it's stacking up eggs here nicely. Over here we're producing wheat very nicely, and here we're producing milk very nicely, which is good. So we now have all the cake. I had to change the thing over to a fluid transposer because I started getting this error message. Actually, this is just one error message from the block operating once all at the same time, and it was also spewing the milk buckets on the floor, which isn't a good sign, so I just quickly switched over to a fluid transposer, and yeah, it works perfectly fine now and doesn't spew out error messages at me. So now that we've got this, we need to come over here and tell this thing, you know what, I want 16 stored there. Good. So now the system's going to keep a whole of 16 in there, and what I want to do is tell this computer to say, hey, suck one from the bottom, place one in front of you. So that's what we're going to try and do. Right, so with a nice little program, we have actually got this set up, and the program is as simple as this. So an endless loop while true, if turtle.getItemCount in slot 1 is equal to 0, then turtle.suckDown from down below is the ME interface, suck one item, end. Turtle.place places the cake in front of it and then sleeps for a second and just loops until it places the cake. So if we say save and exit and say cake placer, commerces, kick in action and start eating this cake, thank you. These will start producing lots and lots of mana, as you can see, and it replaces the cake very nicely. And we nearly have the mana pool full of mana, which is nice. And then these mana pool banks will start filling up, which will be wonderful. So to finish off, I thought I'd go and create this nice little simple system that would make me automatically produce LivingWood and livingrock, and I just did that in the opposite order. But anywho, and what I thought would be simple was not so much, and less about me being incapable of doing it, but for some reason things being inconsistent. So let's go over what this thing is doing. We got a lovely inventory manager here, and yes, I know that looks complicated, but we can split this up into lines. So we've got a trigger line here, trigger line here, trigger line here, and a trigger line here. So in our first condition, we are checking that these block gates, I'll show you which ones, so this lot here, if there is LivingWood, if there is in LivingWood, then pull from the block gate the LivingWood and output the LivingWood into the draw controller, which is a new thing that we've got. So draw controller allows you to connect. What the? Oh, I know why. That's because I clicked on the side of that. Don't worry, that's not going to happen in normal use to be wood there. Basically, draw controller connects drawers from storage drawers. So these two storage drawers act as one inventory. This has lots of potential, but for now we've got this nice little simple thing going on here. I might actually move that storage drawer there, draw controller there, and storage drawers in front. I don't know. Right. So then, next of all, we've got another trigger line. And this trigger line is checking if we have less than 128 LivingWood, then place oak wood here. Nice and simple. Then we've got another trigger line which is checking for living stone and destroying it and moving it into the chest. Then we've got this last one which is for placing stone. Now here we've got the checking for less than X amount of living stone. here we've got this little weird condition. I have to check all those inventories if there is living rock or cobblestone. Now the reason for this is, if there is a block here, for some reason, these block gates will just spew the block on the ground. Even though the command is identical to this one, and the reason for why I am checking cobblestone is block gates check the inventory of the block in front of them, but the inventory of the block in front of them is as if you mine them without silk touch, with the appropriate tool of course. So in this case, stone becomes cobblestone, which is, yeah, and then it moves it into the ME, into here, and I've just got an ME network on the back, stockpiling it with stone, and a storage bus onto the draw controller actually reads it properly, which is wonderful. So, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, because unfortunately we've run out of time for today's episode. If you did so, hit that like button if you did enjoy. Got any comments, questions, drop them down in the comment section below, answer possible. New to the channel, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date, stay well, and Survivor out.
Know when